Okay, so if you get an invention, you need a utility patent, right? Let's talk about writing the utility patent. It has patent claims, a description, a summary, and some other parts, right? Including images, okay? A utility patent, the images are less important. They're like for some extreme circumstances, like if the patent claims are vague and the person fighting you has an infringing product that is closely similar to yours but very different, right? But the function is the same. Okay, the pictures could be used to fight the case, but for all other purposes, for very normal purposes, what we use are the patent claims. Okay, now there are two types of patent claims. There are independent patent claims and dependent patent claims. Okay, independent patent claims are primary. Okay, dependent patent claims are secondary. Okay, I'll explain what that means. Okay, so in your utility patent, the main product, what we would call the lean product for manufacturing, the most valuable prototype. Okay, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, I'll say, but it does function and solve the problem the way you will expect it to. So for that reason, it's sellable. So when you sell it, you make money. Okay, you advertise it, sell it, and make money. When you add the bells and whistles, you will be adding dependent claimed material. Dependent material. Okay? For example, if a marker on a whiteboard never existed, and I was to pattern the first marker, okay? It didn't need to have a magnet for sticking this here. It didn't need to have an eraser for erasing, okay? So the marker, case, the cartridge with the ink, the cover, and the ink itself. 4 parts, that's the independent claim. And then the dependent claim would be the magnet and the eraser. Because you want to stop people from selling exactly what is benefiting your customers. So you would try to get them to stop selling the most valuable thing about your invention. Okay? If they steal the bells and whistles are there, it exists everywhere. Okay? We need to protect our sales. Okay? So we're doing this by preventing the solution from being used and sold and made in America. Okay, the United States of America. So we have independent primary claims and dependent secondary claims. Okay? Here we have the example. I put the magnet, the eraser, the marker, the cap. Okay? Here's how this works with time. If the marker did exist, right, and my solution is actually a marker that sticks to the board and lets you erase. Okay, it lets me erase. So for that reason, I think this is the best marker for writing on whiteboards. Okay, so I want to patent it. Because other markers already exist, right? We're going to patent the entire marker, the cap with its special shape, the magnet, and the eraser in that order. Okay? The way the parts connect is the way the pattern needs to be described. You can't start with the eraser and then talk about the marker and then talk about the magnet and then talk about the cap. That pattern will not be granted. There needs to be an order. The first part to the second part and the addition of the third and fourth parts. Okay? This would be a utility pattern because it's different enough from all the others that existed before it. Okay? It's wonderful, very convenient way to hold your markers and be able to write and erase and all that kind of thing. Okay? So about infringement. If somebody had a pen, not a marker, but a pen, and the pen had a magnet and an eraser, okay, that pen would abstractly infringe on your patent enough for you to fight a case, right? Because marker and pen is all in stationery. The category is important, but that pen would not be able to get a patent because a pen and a marker stationery will be obvious. But this, when it was first, it was not obvious. Okay? The categories of inventions are very important for your patent claims. Okay? You are not allowed to claim anything that has existed before. Okay? You need to claim something that is new and one or two fairly big jumps away from what's normal from before. Okay? So for that reason, we have categories introduced where if you put a magnet and an eraser on a water bottle, okay, and for some reason you apply for the patent because that doesn't make sense, you want your water bottle on the whiteboard, but it's a product so you could get a patent, right? You will get the patent because it's your water bottle and the category is different from a marker. But a marker and a pen is stationary, category is similar, so it infringes. Okay? Infringement is where someone's violating my patent rights. So basically, if I invent something and I patent the invention, then I'm supposed to be the only one able to sell it and profit from it for the next 21 years. And then for all of human history, for all of the remaining time in the future, everybody else could use it because the patent has expired. Okay? A copyright is 100 years when a business applies for it, 70 years plus the person's life in America. Okay? Copyrights are 50 years plus the person's life in some other countries. Patents are 21 years, okay? So products be luxuriously priced, okay? Right. So, long story short, your independent claims are the important parts of the invention and it includes the steps that differentiates it from its nearest competitor far enough into the future that your new invention with magnets and eraser at the time when it only had normal markers for whiteboards, okay, your magnet and eraser one was best, so it got the patent. The independent claims is the lean version of it, so just the most functional part. If you invented this when no whiteboard ever existed, you wouldn't want to patent this. You would want to patent just the marker itself for the whiteboard because no whiteboard exists, so I'd make the whiteboard for the marker. Okay? And then the dependent claims in a time like that would be the magnet and the eraser. But in a time like this, where the marker did exist and they just added a magnet and an eraser. You need to fully explain the context in your description of the pattern. Your context is like, well, when we're writing on the board, we want to walk up to the board and just start writing. It saves us a lot of time if we don't have to look for these things all the time. So for that reason, this is best at advancing human potential. I think it improves the quality of life for humans. And it does. It really does. Okay? So, I beg, make your independent claims the most important ones. And your dependent claims, let that be the frivolous stuff. Okay? And find your way to my website. Check the link in my bio. Get to my website. Hire me. Let me make some inventions for you. Okay?